We all dream of great deeds and high positions, away from the pettiness and humdrum of ordinary life. Yet, success is not occupying a lofty place or doing conspicuous work. It is being the best that is in you. Rattling around in too big a job is much worse than filling a small one to overflowing. Dream, aspire by all means, but do not ruin the life you must lead by dreaming pipe dreams of the one you would like to lead. Make the most of what you have and are. Perhaps your trivial, immediate task is your one sure way of proving your mettle. Do the thing near at hand, and great things will come to your hand to be done. If you can't be a pine on the top of the hill, be a scrub in the valley, but be the best little scrub by the side of the rill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a bush, be a bit of the grass, and some highway some happier make. If you can't be a muskie, then just be a bass, but the liveliest bass in the lake. We can't all be captains, we've got to be crew. There's something for all of us here. There's big work to do, and there's lesser to do, and the task we must do is the near. If you can't be a highway, then just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. It isn't by size that you win or you fail. Be the best of whatever you are. After a thing has been done, everybody is ready to declare it easy. But before it has been done, it is called impossible. One reason why people fear to embark upon great enterprises is that they see all the difficulties at once. They know they would succeed in the initial tasks, but they shrink from what is to follow. Yet, a thing begun is half done. Moreover, the surmounting of the first barrier gives strength and ingenuity for the harder ones beyond. Mountains viewed from a distance seem to be unscalable, but they can be climbed, and the way to begin is to take the first step upward. From that moment, the mountains are less high. As Hannibal led his army across the foothills, then among the upper ranges, and finally over the loftiest peaks and passes of the Alps, or as Peary pushed further and further into the solitudes that encompass the North Pole, so can you achieve any purpose whatsoever if you heed not the doubters, meet each problem as it arises, and keep ever with you the assurance it can be done. Somebody said that it couldn't be done, but he, with a chuckle, replied that maybe it couldn't, but he would be one who wouldn't say so till he tried. So he buckled right in with the trace of a grin on his face. If he worried, he hid it. He started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. Somebody scoffed, "Oh, you'll never do that. At least no one ever has done it." But he took off his coat and he took off his hat, and the first thing we knew he'd begun it. With the lift of his chin and a bit of a grin, without any doubting or quit it, he started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. There are thousands to tell you it cannot be done. There are thousands to prophesy failure. There are thousands to point out to you, one by one, the dangers that wait to assail you. But just buckle in with a bit of a grin. Just take off your coat and go to it. Just start to sing as you tackle the thing that cannot be done, and you'll do it.
"I lack only one of having 100, said a student after an examination. "I have the 2 noughts." And all he did lack was a 1, rightly placed. The world is full of opportunities, discernment to perceive, courage to undertake, patience to carry through, will change the whole aspect of the universe for us and bring positive achievement out of meaningless negation. With doubt and dismay you are smitten. You think there's no chance for you, son? Why, the best books haven't been written. The best race hasn't been run. The best score hasn't been made yet. The best song hasn't been sung. The best tune hasn't been played yet. Cheer up, for the world is young. No chance? Why, the world is just eager for things that you ought to create. Its store of true wealth is still meager. Its needs are incessant and great. It yearns for more power and beauty, more laughter and love and romance, more loyalty, labor, and duty. No chance? Why, there's nothing but chance. For the best verse hasn't been rhymed yet. The best house hasn't been planned. The highest peak hasn't been climbed yet. The mightiest rivers aren't spanned. Don't worry and fret, faint-hearted. The chances have just begun, for the best jobs haven't been started. The best work hasn't been done.
Gloom and despair are really ignorance in another form. They fail to reckon with the fact that what appears to be baneful often turns out to be good. Lincoln lost the senatorship to Douglas and thought he had ended his career. Had he won the contest, he might have remained only a senator. Life often has surprise parties for us. Things come to us masked in gloom and black, but time, the revealer, strips off the disguise, and lo, what we have is blessings. Never go gloomy, man with a mind. Hope is a better companion than fear. Providence, ever benignant and kind, gives with a smile what you take with a tear. All will be right, look to the light. Morning was ever the daughter of night. All that was black will be all that is bright. Cheerily, cheerily, then cheer up. Many a foe is a friend in disguise, many a trouble a blessing most true, helping the heart to be happy and wise, with love ever precious and joys ever new. Stand in the van, strike like a man. This is the bravest and cleverest plan. Trust in God while you do what you can. Cheerily, cheerily, then cheer up. It seems impossible that human beings could endure so much until we realize that they have endured it. The spirit of man performs miracles. It transcends the limitations of flesh and blood. It is like Uncle Remus's account of Brer Rabbit climbing a tree. A rabbit couldn't do that, the little boy protested. He did, Uncle Remus responded. He was jes bleeged to. Reigned by an unseen tyrant's hand, spurred by an unseen tyrant's will, aquiver at the fierce command that goads you up the danger hill. You cry, O fate, O life, be kind, grant but an hour of respite. Give one moment to my suffering mind. I cannot keep the pace and live, but fate drives on and will not heed the lips that beg, the feet that bleed. Drives while you faint upon the road, drives with a menace for a goad, with fiery reins of circumstance, urging his terrible advance, that while you cry in your despair, the pain is more than I can bear. Fear not the goad, fear not the pace, plead not to fall from out the race. It is your own self driving you, yourself that you have never known, seeing your little self alone, your self high-seated charioteer, master of cowardice and fear, yourself that sees the shining length of all the fearful road ahead, knows the terrors that you dread are pygmies to your splendid strength, strength you have never even guessed, strength that has never needed rest, yourself that holds the mastering rein, seeing beyond the sweat and pain and anguish of your driven soul, the patient beauty of the goal, fighting upon the terror field where man and fate came breast to breast, pressed by 1,000 foes to yield, tortured and wounded without rest. You cried, Be merciful, O life, the strongest spirit soon must break before this all unequaled strife, this endless fight for failure's sake. But fate, unheeding, lifted high his sword and thrust you through to die. And then there came one strong and great, who towered high o'er chance and fate, who bound your wound and eased your pain, and bade you rise and fight again. And from some source you did not guess, gushed a great tide of happiness, a courage mightier than the sun. You rose and fought, and fighting won. It was your own self saving you, yourself no man has ever known. Looking on flesh and blood alone, that self that lives so close to God, as roots that feed upon the sod. That one who stands behind the screen, looks through the window of your eyes, a being out of paradise, the self no human eye has seen, the living one who never tires, fed by the deep eternal fires, your flaming self with two-edged sword, made in the likeness of the Lord, angel and guardian at the gate, master of death and king of fate.